anyone. But again, Edmonton had their power play opportunities. They absolutely did. They scored once, and they gave up another one 2 minutes later. Officiating, maybe it drives people crazy, sure, but that's not the reason Edmonton lost this game. They lost this game because they let Florida score early. Their power play went numb. They gave up the goal right after. Bobrovsky made saves when Skinner didn't, and Florida just choked the life out of them 5-on-5. Just stifled them like they stifled everyone else. That's why Edmonton lost this game, not because of temper tantrums later. That's just silliness.
Thought it was a interesting bounce-back performance for Aaron Ekblad, who the days before was asked about the curl and drag that McDavid pulled on him in Game 2. And to his credit, he answered the question, said, yeah, you're trying to wait for the shot block, you're trying to take away the pass, and then the walk-on-water toe drag, McJesus, all of that. And what does he do? He was the one that laid the big licking on McDavid in game number 3, scored the goal in the third period. I mean, the game was effectively out of hands already at that point, but really was after he found the back of the net on the power play after a beautiful sequence of passing leading up to that point. As these playoffs have gone on, I mean, the Panthers are among the best at once they sink their teeth into you and say, this is how we're playing tonight. It is really difficult to change the course of the evening once that happens. But when you look at how Toronto forced them to a 7th game, and I guess to a lesser extent how even Carolina avoided a sweep and looked to be close to pushing it maybe even to a 6th game, it was either you put Florida on their heels early or you stay patient, and Edmonton wasn't able to do either here in game number 3. And I guess with those big check marks not there for the Oil, it starts to make a little bit of sense why the score ended up being what it was, or at least the result ended up being what it was.
Bad time to play your worst game of the playoffs. But, I always say this, Kyle, and this is another thing you've heard me say on this podcast. If you're a good team, momentum doesn't have to carry over. It doesn't. And Edmonton's a good team. This is not, the Stanley Cup final is not total goals. It's 2-1. And there's another game on Thursday night that you have to win. I'll say one thing about McDavid, and I kind of got this impression from him post-game. Overall, as bad as this game was for the Oilers, overall, he's noticeably calmer at the start of this series as opposed to the start of the one a year ago. I still think that's good for Edmonton. He's got to keep that calmness, and he's got to get more from everybody else around him. I think Edmonton came back last year when they stopped feeling the pressure and stopped squeezing the sticks and just said, let's be calm like we have to be when we're at our best, and let's play hockey. And they got back into the series. As stressful as this was, they have to be calm. They have to clear their minds. They have to be zen. They have to hit nirvana in their meditation over the next 48 hours. You can't come in frustrated against these guys. You won't win. You've got to have a plan, and no matter what happens, you got to stick to the plan. And one thing these guys have to do is they have to get a lead, and they have to keep it for a while. That's one thing they really haven't done a lot of in this series.
So true, so true. Okay, one element of the silliness I did want to bring up was Jake Wallman and the water bottle after his glove was deposited in the Florida bench. Only because I'll give you credit, you had a great line about if Brian Boucher, who was between the benches for TNT on Monday night, if his shower in the presidential suite at his hotel wasn't working, then he at least got a bit of a rinse off there during that exchange. Stick taps to you, my friend.
The whole thing was funny. Wallman has really been a presence, and you got a sense that those Panther guys really wanted a piece out of him. Like he's one of the few others that has really gotten on their nerves, probably for the taunt of Nosek on the penalty in game 1. There are plenty of examples of players who've been fined for that water bottle squirting from the bench, right? Jamie Benn was a recent guy it happened to, for example. So I wonder if Wallman gets the slap on the wrist fine on one of these days off.
Yeah, plenty of time to.
Maybe he thought Boucher or Greer or whoever it was looked a little bit overheated.
Just trying to cool them off. Bush at one point's like, all right, knock it off. Come on. The look he was giving him was hilarious. It was
Bush
so
looked like
good.
he wanted to fight Wallman too.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So Chris Knobloch said post-game, no decision yet on who starts game 4. Who are you starting?
Yeah, I'm going back to Skinner here in this case. And not just
Yeah, I am
because
too.
he was kind enough to give us an interview before the final started. But I think, and listening
I
to
thought
him
Pickard was
post-game.
pretty good.
Sure.
The more I watched Pickard, the more I thought about it, but
Like,
I
you
would
know
go
what you're
back to
getting.
Skinner. Yes.
For sure. You know what you're getting in Pickard. The guy battles his rear end off anytime he's in there. And he's had a hand in the Oilers being where they're at right now. But I thought the way Skinner handled his media post-game, as he's always done, wasn't running from anything. I think that'll play a role in allowing himself to reset before, along with everybody else. And he's your guy. He's your guy. And I'm sure there's a couple he's looking at going, I wish I would have done this a little differently. But this was not a case of, boy, the Oilers get 1 or 2 more saves. It's a different outcome. They were just outclassed in far more areas than that here in game number 3.
One other thing I wanted to mention from this game, some Oilers fans sent me some angry DMs because I praised the play by Barkov that took Klingberg into the official. And I can understand why Klingberg was upset. You never want that to happen, especially when seconds later the puck is in your net and it's a massive goal. But I had a player specifically reach out to me to say that Barkov deserves praise because he knew exactly what he was doing. He used the boards and the official to trap Klingberg. It's like a basketball trap where you not only do you defend the player with the ball, but you try to trap him in the corner so that the baseline and the sideline become added defenders. He said that Barkov knew exactly what he was doing when he did that. And he said that that's why he's winning the Selke every year. Because he knew exactly what he was doing, and he used the official to help make that turnover on Klingberg.
Interesting. And one other thing here, Elliot, I don't know if you had anything further to add on the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins situation. Obviously, it was a game-time decision. He played just over 15 and a half minutes. I know the third period was what it was. Also, he didn't take any face-offs in Game 3.
Yeah.
He had been taking some draws the first 2 games, and of course earlier in the playoffs.
It's good that you pointed that out, and thanks for reminding me. Like, he went on the ice at the end of the morning skate, and you could tell he was playing the puck a bit daintily. Right? This is clearly some sort of hand wrist thing.
So, along with 2 days off